Recognize that your mental health is so important. If you don't, then I promise you'll be so distorted. Stiffened by your thoughts, that's a mental rigor mortis. I'm on a hard mission and it won't be aborted. Assorted memories will seem to be your remedy, but in your darkest hour form into your enemies. Trust your gut, judge people off their energy. Cut them off quick and fast, they are limiting your room to grow.
You're listening to the Expect.Effect podcast, where the concept of self-care is our primary focus. Consider this an acknowledgement of feeling the opportunity to birth every great idea within you. This is your weekly dose of me time, and I'm your host. It's Just Nikia. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at It's Just Nikia. That's ITSJUSTNIKIA. So go ahead and follow me there on Instagram and Facebook. We also have personal pages dedicated to the show at the Expect.Effect podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Let's see. This is season 3. But before we get into that, listen, we know life is hard, but here at the Expect.Effect, we believe that self-care, the process to becoming the best version of yourself, these things don't have to be. So sit back, relax, and unwind as we together uncover ways to truly expect better, do better, and believe better. As aforementioned, I'm your host, creator of the show. I also am a writer for Black Label, Black Pepper Magazine, and the Sister Girl blog. We here at the Expect.Effect are represented by Laura Miller in terms of publication. What publicist? Did I say publication? My bad. That's our publicist, y'all. And let me see, what are some other things that I'd like to share in the season 3 opener? I'm just excited and thrilled to be back here with you guys. In addition to some modifications we've made to the website, I want to be the first person to say I have not done blog posts over these past 2 weeks, and I do apologize for that. I like to think of the blog as one of those hit and go type things, but I am working on making sure those journal entries are up to date. And now that I've got a lot of the back end work out of the way on my to-do list, I'm really going to have more room and time to focus on making sure those blog posts are not only immaculate in terms of journal entry topics, but also in terms of content, hyperlinks, and any referrals or references that we make in terms of recommendations on my website there. Just want to thank you guys really for continuing to tune in, to be here and be present as we open season 3. Before we get into the topic, let's talk about the changes I've made to the website. So you can now visit the expecteffectpod.com, and in addition to journal entry topics and provide event sessions, did I mention I'm a certified life coach here to provide you with tools and practices to help you on your way to personal success. A life coach is not a therapist. We are not licensed counselors or therapists here at this show, but I am a certified life coach, and you can learn more about the differences between life coaching and therapy by visiting the expecteffectpod.com under our expectancy tab. You can go there to the expectancy factor tab, learn the differences between life coaching and therapy, and also book an event session with me. If you need an ear, a shoulder, this is not a Kit Kat commercial, but I am here to give you a break. So tune in, get locked in with me. We can personalize longer term plans if you would like, or strictly work off those event sessions. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to be the friend you never had, so to speak, and the shoulder maybe that you've been looking to acquire all this time. Now, when it comes to podcasting services, listen, you can jump right on the Expect.Effect's website, theexpecteffectpod.com. I'm going to say that a few times just to make sure you get it, and you can get in on my audio editing services. So what I am offering now under the Podcast Like a Pro tab, I've got a few services available for those looking to really up their audio. If you're wanting to create a podcast or amp your production, I've got physical guides available alongside purchase options for live instruction. We also have podcast and audio editing services, voiceover services, and again, as I mentioned, those event sessions in case you just need someone to talk to. And again, your podcasting services are going to be under the Podcast Like a Pro tab at theexpecteffectpod.com, and then we're going to have the event sessions under the Expectancy Factor tab, where you can also learn more about the differences between life coaching and therapy, and also get more immediate and we'll say urgent assistance if required. Now, one final tab, and this tab makes me real excited. If you visit the expecteffectpod.com, there is a want to be a guest tab. If you'd like to be considered as a guest on our show, you can fill out my Google form doc, answer a few questions, and that's going to send the submission directly over to me. Allow me to take a look at the profile, get in contact with you if we'd like to move forward with scheduling. It has points of availability, gives a little bit of room for you to give some background about yourself, and also provide any additional website links you may have. So just take that into consideration if you or someone would like to to be a guest on the show, you can now visit our website at theexpecteffectpod.com and click the Want to Be a Guest tab. This will allow you to go ahead and move forward with being a guest or on our show, or at least being considered as a guest on the show. I will take you into consideration and we'll move forward from there. What else here? The Podcasting Like a Pro tab. I'm telling you, I really do want to double back over that. I'm really excited about all things podcasting. Like I said, this isn't just a podcast, it's a production. I get excited about audio mixing. Oh shit. I get excited about audio mixing. I'm going to leave that in there too, because we believe in a raw edit for my show, but I want to edit your show to your liking. If you want intro, outro help, if you're wanting a constructive guide on remote recording, if you're wanting more information on hashtags, marketing tools, if you're wanting more information on how you can fully modify and edit your audio on software only, I've got anything you need, just literally anything you need, I've got it there for you. And I want to help you produce the best production possible, the best sounding production possible. I really do believe in a raw and uncut edit, so I like to make things sound as natural as possible. But again, whatever your style is, I'm happy to adhere to it. Kind of stumbling over my words a little bit just from sheer excitement. I'm really happy not only to be back here, but to be back here at the date I originally said. I'm sometimes bad about that, but I said I was going to be back January 13th, and here we are with season 3, and I'm thrilled to be talking about the importance of collaboration. So I.N.D.E.P.E.N.D.E.N.T. Okay, that's exactly how I learned to spell independent, by listening to that song. And a few lyrics. She got her own car. She got her own job. Wait, maybe I'm messing those up, and I'm not going to Google them. The point, 2 jobs? Did she have 2 jobs? But she did have her own car and her own house. That was a part of the point. But the one tail lyric that always sits with me is, if you ain't on, sit down. And I gotta say, I don't always want to be on. Sometimes I really do want to sit down, especially when we talk about independence and entrepreneurship and the creation of our crafts. Sometimes I don't want to be that poppin'. Sometimes I do need somebody, and I want to talk about needing a shoulder and not accepting one. Sometimes people get going and they think, this is it. This is the thing I've decided. This is what I've selected. I know this is going to be great. I just need a couple more things. I just need a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. And those buts really never get addressed. You just become the best independent production you can without any help or assistance from anyone else, and you keep saying, I'm just going to push this shit out myself. Or you're going entirely too far into your pockets and you're overly spending for assistance when you could be collaborating and gaining that same caliber of help or information. So I want to talk about the 3 N's of collaboration. So when we talk about being independent, that can mean a lot of things, but nothing in this life has to be done totally and completely alone. So if you're not leaning on collaboration, if you're not into relationship, if you're not into partnership, if you're not into the dynamics of relationship and business, then you're really never going to progress with your personal brand or your professional brand, whichever the case may be. Let's talk real quick. Let's just dive right into it. I really don't even want to waste more time. We're going to talk about the first N being narrowing the lane of focus. So what's your Achilles heel? Like I just said, a lot of times you'll say, I could be a great business. I would really be on and popping if I just had this thing. I don't have this thing. What's your but? Don't let that be the thing keeping you from progressing. For me, it was marketing and promotion. I was able to then link up with a publicist. I write for Laura at the Sister Girl blog. So that's our exchange. And we'll get more into what you can exchange in nature of collaboration in a moment. But the first thing I want you to do is narrow the lane of focus. What is your Achilles heel? The first of the 3 N's of collaboration and relationship in business. So narrowing the lane of focus. What's your Achilles heel, right? Don't let this be your butt. For me, it was marketing and promotion. For you, that may be booking, that may be scheduling, it may be organization, it may be finding resources, it may be finding vendors, it could be finding content creation, like you're not the best at making sure your social media layouts are good. So just figure out where you're struggling and narrow the lane of focus. What's your Achilles heel? Second, once you narrow the lane of focus and you realize this is where I suck and it would be really nice if I had some help, realize that the team is right next to you. The second N is going to be networking across. Issa Rae said it best. You've got to really work with the people who are right beside you. Who's doing graphic design if you need a graphic designer? Who's doing podcasting if you need free advertisement? Who has a blog if you're looking at something like that? This doesn't even necessarily have to be, when I say network across, network with people, yes, but also network with people who have the same size following as you, people who are evidently trying to get to the same things, get in like-minded Facebook groups, Reddit groups. Clubhouse is a great application to be on now if you have access to that or know somebody that's on it. Figure out what the team can do for you right here. If you're needing something done, identify the person who's also doing it, who's in the same realm as you. When I think about getting to this point, I reached out to Tia of Black Label. I just noticed she was looking for writers, and I took my shot. I took the little portfolio I had, which didn't really include any writing at all, and she gave me my first article opportunity. But I had to first present what I could do for her, which is the third N of business, necessary services. How do you provide value? And in that, I was also networking across. I was looking at people who were also in the social media game, who were also looking into building their brands, expanding their teams, who had identified their own Achilles heel. She knew she needed more writers, that she wanted to have more hands on deck to get the stories out. And I knew that my necessary service, I could provide value to her by writing for that platform. And so when you narrow the lane of focus, god damn it, we're going to get it one day. But when you narrow the lane of focus and you really identify what your Achilles heel is, you're then able to identify networking across who next to you or in a like environment can do what needs to be done. And then third, necessary services. What do I offer? Where's my value? How can I help? And when you're able to help someone else, they can in turn help you narrow the lane, attack narrowing the lane of your focus. So suddenly you both have killed two birds with one stone. Tia was looking for more writers to enhance her content. She narrowed the lane of her focus. I was looking to build my brand by way of exposure. That was me narrowing the lane of my focus. And we were able to network by me offering a necessary service and me saying, look, I can write for you. She could give me coverage and a bigger platform to also be heard, seen, and exposed on. I think about partners. The way I met Laura was by networking across. I had someone reach out to me about a writer's room just because I wrote with Black Label. And this is all about being willing to take those chances. And I promise you'll be more equipped to take these chances when you really embrace the three N's in business: narrowing the lane of focus, networking across, and identifying what your necessary service is so you can be prepared to offer that thing of value to anyone who may need it, okay? And who can in turn, again, reciprocity is my favorite word, give that back to you. So I think about how I met Laura. I had someone reach out to me just because I wrote for Black Label, and then I was able to get into this writer's room with some sensational people, some of whom have been right here on this show. Laura was in that room, and then she reached out to me after, taking note, I guess just a point of interest. We're now very great friends, and we also work together. And so by narrowing the lane of focus, I was able to identify that, look, I want to be stronger in marketing and promotion. And to basically the same story as I had with Black Label, she said I could use a writer at the Sister Girl blog. I could use a writer here. So you just come on in, and we really just chopped it up from there. When you identify these three N's and you really take off, you'll find that so many things fall into this category. Narrowing the lane of focus. Everybody has an Achilles heel. Somebody is going to want help with something. If you can be that solution by way of your necessary service, get after it. But before you do any of that, network across. Figure out who might do it for you just for the sake of getting some improvement for themselves, or maybe getting some exposure for themselves. If you need something from me, if anybody's listening to this and you know me, if you're trying to get something across to me, I need to know what you can do for me. Do you have a brand or service that maybe I could get residual, maybe like a referral link on? Do you have something that can be done or promoted to the overall good? What value are you bringing to the table before you're just asking someone, can you write this article for me? Can you do this advertisement for me? Can you make this thing happen for me? Stop just reaching. Make sure you know exactly what it is you need to do better in, or where you can provide value, and then figure out where the game plan is with the people who are right across from you, or people who are in the same vicinity in a realm working towards goals much like yourself. That's really what we're diving into you today on, damn, did I lose my train of thought? I did. My bad, y'all. We gonna cut out some of that there. You gonna hear some of this clean trains of thought just trailed off without all of the ums and ahs. But we're going to now step into full effect with none other than our special Voyage Dallas feature. I'm really excited about this one, you guys. We have, I don't even know what to say in terms of when I think about the guests that I've had the opportunity of speaking with on this show and everybody that I get to hear like a portion of their story, a portion of their life's work, how they apply themselves. I love to hear how people think. I love to hear how people perceive not only themselves, but the work that they do and how they perceive what would work for others if in similar situations. So being able to have all of these perspectives from various walks of life is not only humbling, but it excites me to no end. My passion is telling people stories while also helping them realize and achieve their goals in a way like never before. So I'm excited to bring to you today the head of Purpose and Profits. And I wanted to just say the title of the company because you need to just key on those two words, purpose and profit. When we talk about the importance of collaboration in business, you will generate profit from your purpose by embracing the 3 N's here of collaboration and relationship in business, narrowing the lane of your focus, networking across, and identifying the necessary services. So again, we are coming back right after this, courtesy of none other than Voyage Dallas. If you're not plugged in, I need you to get plugged in. That's VOYAG Dallas, DALAS. You can find them on social media. Visit voyagedallas.com and stay tuned. Don't get up. We're back with the head of Purpose and Profits right after this.
Hi, I'm Charrisse Darbouze. I'm a brand and business strategist. I'm also the founder of Purpose and Profits, and Purpose and Profits is a platform where we help aspiring women entrepreneurs create purposeful brands so that they can start and launch their own business.
Perfect. I'm really thrilled and excited to have you here. And first, I want to thank you for rescheduling. We were supposed to do this last year, but kudos to 2021. Happy New Year to you. And thank you so much for joining us again. What I want to talk about first is your journey to this point, because one, helping others is a big task and weight in and of itself. And then based on your chosen niche, you are literally helping people launch their dreams and move into their desired passions. Before you got to this point to be so confidently able to help other people, what was the journey like?
Yeah, so I have a marketing background. So I worked in marketing and advertising for some years. That's where I have a degree in marketing. So I worked in New York for a couple years at an advertising agency. So I worked with brands like Colgate-Palmolive and Campbell's Soup and 7-Eleven Slurpee. So I have a marketing branding background. And it wasn't until, I would say, 2014 where I wanted a change. I wanted to take control of my own future, of my own destiny. Especially, I wanted to establish a certain lifestyle for myself. I was just got married and we were wanting to have children. So I wanted to create a more flexible lifestyle and decided to begin my entrepreneurship journey in 2014. And I created a subscription box service for women of color. And from there birthed me being consultant for entrepreneurs and helping them with their branding. And my journey isn't a linear one. There was a lot of stop and goes, as any entrepreneur would know, understand that. As of recently, as of last May of 2020, I launched Purpose and Profits. And Purpose and Profits is a result of my journey of entrepreneurship, of my branding background, of helping women with their purpose. I've had also a community where I help women create their purpose, and that was called Women That Ignite. And so I've tried and have done a lot of things, and that's what led me to create Purpose and Profits, was that journey.
When you talk about that journey not being linear, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you faced on a personal and professional?
Oh, there's several. So
yeah, the list tends to be long.
Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles, especially when you're starting out. You're optimistic but naive in a way where,
like a kid in a candy store.
You're so excited. You're so excited, and you have this idea, and you think you're the only one that is going through this and you're going to succeed, which you should have that belief in yourself, but you're not prepared for a lot of what comes with being an entrepreneur. Like, you're doing it alone most of the time. You're putting all of your finances up front, and it's a lot of effort and investment in the beginning stages. And you have to have thick skin to get through that first phase of entrepreneurship, because you're not going to get the results that you want. You're not going to get the
That's
people.
important.
Yeah. You're just not going to get
the results that you want. Those are the facts.
Right.
Like, I think sometimes people really shortchange how much trial and error it is, how much of a stop and start it is, and how much time you really do spend at the drawing board. What ways were you able to begin digesting and processing, or rather, I should say, like, digesting and working through the processes of entrepreneurship when you realize, okay, damn, it's not going to go the way, but I'm not. Right. So it's not going to go the way I want, but I'm not going to quit. So what did that look like for you when you identified?
I would say when I had a lot of stop and goes because I had children too, I would probably say it was my recent launch of Purpose and Profits, because I got to a place where, you know what, this is what I want to do. I don't want to go back to corporate America. And I've gone through enough experiences and trial and error where I know what to expect now, and I know when to shift. And so a lot of it is experience too. And I had that experience with trying out different things, with having my own subscription box business, with being a consultant. And so by the time I got to this place in my life, I'm more confident. I'm more prepared for the falls, for when I need to shift or pivot. And now, like, the mistakes or the failures, quote unquote, I don't take them personally. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? That means I need to go this way. And just being more, don't take it personally. A lot of times we take a lot of things personally when it comes to starting our own, which it is our baby, but you have to detach yourself from it. And sometimes it's just a numbers game. Sometimes it's more of, okay, this is where the trend is. Maybe you need to shift your idea or shift your branding a little bit, or your messaging. So it's more of strategy. And that's what I've learned over time.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about trial and error in the sense of working. So your time in corporate America definitely fed into what you were able to do entrepreneurial wise. And I don't think enough people give credit to what they can learn from in their environments. And I say this as a person who has worked a lot of jobs. I've been in warehouse. I've installed satellite dishes. I currently do work in corporate America in addition to podcasting. I've done like retail jobs, and I feel like you can always learn something from each one.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say is the most powerful lesson you've picked up from the time that you've spent there that you didn't think you would lean on once you found yourself leaning on it?
Oh, wow. Like you, I've had many jobs too. Like, I've worked in advertising, but you know where I've learned my most, like, really big lessons, where I actually worked in retail, and I've probably worked at 6 retail stores, but that taught me, yes.
And you know what, this is actually a Lowe's non-appreciation moment, because wow, y'all be coming in there asking them folks for everything, and whoever I misdirected on your plumbing, I'm sorry, I don't actually do that, but no, go ahead.
No, it's so true, because I've learned how to talk to people when I had to sell certain amount of credit cards. So you learn the skill of speaking and being confident, and customer service. Oh my gosh, it's huge. And that's something that I learned in retail, but I learned more of like professionalism in advertising and marketing. I learned how to talk to people professionally, and I learned how to see the business as a whole. So I had more of a structure. I had more of like formal training when it came to corporate America. But when it comes to that, like, dogfight, and it's like basic sales and learning how to talk to people and thick skin and just communication skills and customer service, I really learned that in my retail jobs as my teenager, early 20s, when I was in college. I felt like my corporate America background really helped prepare me for more of the like operations of a business and more of like formal training of what's branding, what's marketing, and help me become more of an expert in my field versus just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel the dynamic and shift worked for me. There are definitely moments where me just having the relatability of a person who is in that position, whether you're a cashier, look, I've waited tables. I'm not above a single person. And I say this to say, embrace where you are. There's always something to be learned exactly where you are and can be applied to your dream, as you've heard us discuss. When we talk about your current foundation, tell me a little bit about the work you're doing currently, like in present day 2021. What is the agenda looking like for you?
So currently I created a course and it's called Build Your Brand in 30 Days. And this course,
That's pretty fast, you guys. Like just real quick interjection. Like 30 days is quick. Like you guys may think that's a minute, but 30 days is quick. It started this podcast in 2019, and the brand is still changing. So to have an initial brand outline and really be going in 30 days, that's valuable. And I definitely want you to tell people more about this course.
Yeah, so it's so funny that you say wow, because I actually address the thing that scares people. Like people think starting a business or branding is so hard or challenging. It's really not. And like you said, you're always evolving, but you have to start somewhere and you have to keep going. So my course is broken down into audios and videos, and I also provide a checklist. So it's a guide that helps you each day and each week on what you should do before going on to the next level. And I also mentioned that it doesn't need to be perfect, and we need progression over perfection. So
I love that. Say that one more time, progression over perfection.
Exactly. So it's really to help guide you through the process, but not make it perfect, and to help aspiring entrepreneurs, give them the confidence to start. Cause that's where most of us struggle. We struggle with starting because we think we need to have this perfect idea. We need to have all the branding colors. We need to have our website together. No, you don't. You just need to have a great idea, and you need to attract your target audience. That's it. And so I help guide you through that. I help change your mindset into thinking about business differently.
Man, and that's important. Thinking about business differently and thinking it from, like, how do I say this? Thinking about it from a perspective of what you do. I think sometimes people are passionate about things that they actually don't even have. I always say, especially when you think about starting another business, if you have a passion project, maybe consider like a baby something that you do well, just to see how you do. If that's, you want to do a clothing line, maybe start with shirts. If you want to write a book, maybe start with an e-course, and just building your those things. So I really love what you produce there. And as far as creating that outline and walkthrough guide for people, what do you feel people's biggest challenges when it comes to starting their brand, aside from like the overwhelming sense of, oh shit, I'm about to start a business? But what do you hear the most from people?
I hear the most, they have a lot of ideas. They don't.
Man, that sounds like me off top. Like, I got all this stuff over here.
They have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of passions, a lot of interests, and they just don't know where to start. And oftentimes and I say this in my course, is that you want to pick a profitable niche, not a passion niche. You can be passionate about something, but you're going into business to make money. So that's part of the education of what I provide. You want to pick something that you do well today. And I know we all have big dreams and big visions, but we can't accomplish that tomorrow. So what is something that you can do today, right now, that immediately you're going to make money off of? So I help clarify that and give you simple steps on it. Let's just start with one idea. Let's start with one of your passion projects. And how can we make that into a business where you can make money tomorrow in 30 days? And so it could be that simple.
Man, and I really love that. You guys, I want you to take full advantage of the information that you're hearing. This is from a person who does it every single day, who works with individuals wanting to build their brands. And we're talking about being expansive and great in the year of 2021. What is the number one thing you would absolutely recommend someone not do when either revamping their brand or building their brand for the first time?
Something not to do. Oftentimes I think when we revamp or we think of rebranding, we automatically go to the aesthetics of things. Like we want to change the colors, which is fine, and you can do that. But it is bottom line. Are you making money? And are you attracting your target audience?
Can you just run that part back? Are you making money?
Are you making money? And it doesn't matter what your colors are. It doesn't matter your branding or your logo. It comes bottom line. Are you making money, and are you attracting your target audience? And if you're not, then find your target audience and find out what their pain points are. And that's the direction they should go to, not focusing on the aesthetics. And I think oftentimes we get stuck there because we think that's the thing that attracts our target audience, and it's really not. It's going to be you being authentic and sharing your story and solving people's problems. That's it.
Oh, man, that is amazing. And I actually thought we had to wrap a little bit sooner, but we don't. So I'm going to ask just a couple of more questions. But talk to me, now that we've gone through all of these things, we know what your journey is. We know some of the best things that you can do in business. I think people really miss the part, however, that really to start this train, a lot of these steps involve asking for help and being comfortable learning and being comfortable engaging in community. And to your point, knowing how to speak to people and how to have these relationships. And what I've learned as a person who really and truly does like to do so many things myself are how valuable relationships are in business. And I really learned this when I stepped into corporate America from retail more full time, and just relationships in business are quintessential. And sometimes it's really not about what you know, but who. So tell me your best advice for people to really get out of this shell of being like, I'm independent, because self-made can mean a lot of things, but that does not mean you don't need assistance.
Relationships is very key. Collaboration is very key when you're an entrepreneur. Just recently, I hired a social media manager, and that's something that I didn't feel like I needed, because I don't have this amount of followers, but it honestly has been a game changer for me. And it's great to talk to somebody about your ideas and hear their perspectives on seeing things from the outside in, because we are in the business and we see things a certain way. But just bringing someone else in, or you don't even have to hire anyone. You can just talk to somebody, have a mentor, or have an accountability partner, which is what I also have. In the beginning of last year, I joined a coaching program, and I'm a part of a lot of women entrepreneurship communities where I ask people, what do you think about this? Or does anyone, can you recommend any like social media managers? So it's very important to be a part of positive networks, to be a part of women entrepreneurs or people like you that are going where you want to go. And that's how you grow. And going back to me personally, like I just hired someone to help me, and it has been a game changer. And she's even pushed me to do reels. I didn't even know how to do that.
I love that part. When you bring someone in and they actually add value and then push you to do other things.
Yes. Value is key, people. If you find someone that can add value to your life, keep them and pay them, please. But yes, she's definitely added value, and it definitely has changed how I do business. And yeah, when you start, you think you can do it on your own, but you can't. You actually slow yourself down more, and you don't get the results that you want. I do recommend having an assistant or someone helping you in the beginning stages, because oftentimes we don't think about that when we're starting out, but it does make a big difference.
It does. And I want to pull three things from what you said, especially there at the tail end, when we're talking about value and also working with people who are trying to do the same thing you're doing, people just like you. Sometimes we think we have to reach above. My best connections have been made from me reaching right next to me and reaching out alongside me and trying to work with peers in that front. Value is so huge. You will find that you're able to make a number of connections just by saying, I can do this thing for you. I'm interested in this service that you offer. I'm interested in something that you're doing. And maybe they have a blog. My PR rep, for example, we became friends and now partners based on the fact that I was also a writer and could write for her blog and could produce something for her. So think about what you're able to actually bring to the table for these people, and in turn, what they're able to do for you. Reciprocity is key. We're not carrying dead weight either way around. So I really love the points that you made there, and also just really putting your best foot forward. If you're really making sure that that you keep and hold value to a high standard, then you're probably going to be okay in everything you produce. Just make sure it's quality over quantity. To your point, people a lot of time, they think rebranding, they think aesthetics. You're thinking immediately about social media, your Instagram, your Facebook. Think about your website. Think about the back end logistics of it all. And really, the best advice that I could give you is to know that help is required. You're not always going to be able to do it by yourself, and you will find that there is more growth in collaboration than there is in doing it all on your own. I want to thank you so much for being here. This has been a phenomenal conversation. Something I like to do in closing, these are 5 random rapid fire questions. I have nothing written down on these, so we're just gonna ask you 5 questions that come to mind.
Oh no!
And then we'll close out with your handles and things of that nature. But first, if you had to choose one thing to play on TV, and this is going to be playing like in your living room 25/8, you can never mute it, what sport would you choose?
Oh, what sport I would choose?
Right, it's going to have to be a sport, right? See, there's a catch-22.
A sport I would play on TV? Oh, man. Oh, probably tennis.
Okay, that's fair. That's reasonably quiet.
Yeah, I want to.
If you didn't have to listen to something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Tennis. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, now let's see if we can spin a question off of that. If you had the opportunity to ask Serena Williams one question, what would that be?
Oh, how does she just... There's so many, but
I have a list of questions for Serena myself. If you ever hear this,
she's an inspiration. But just how do you stay focused? Like, how do you stay locked in, like, and maintain that level of excellence?
If I had her focus, I feel like I'd be a billionaire. If I could focus like Serena Williams. Wow, that's definitely something to wonder. What's the last song you listened to?
This is going to be funny. The song I've been listening to today was Janet Jackson, All For You.
Oh, I love Janet is my I was just listening to Escapade earlier. I love Janet Jackson. I will just, oh, wow. Yeah. All For You by Janet is a good, man, what a time. Oh, and also anger just came inside because y'all really played Janet, but it's okay. It's okay. We won't even go there. Oh, man. Okay. Do you have, would you say Janet is your favorite Jackson? We put Michael in his own category, but would you say Janet is your favorite Jackson?
Yes.
I would also. I would say that there are only 2 talented Jacksons.
They're all right.
we won't dive any deep into that either. But Janet, just queen, legend, icon, just everything amazing. And I'm probably going to listen to something else with Janet if it's not Pleasure Principle or All Right after this call. But last question on just a random question tip. Let me see. What is your favorite soft drink? Are you a person that does not drink soda?
I don't drink soda.
Damn. Okay, I got to do that. See, I just said to myself, I said, Jesus, I'm not going to finish this Coke if she says she doesn't drink soda.
No,
so
I don't. I've been on this like health and wellness journey starting of last year, and I only drink water. But if I want something other than water, I do drink V8 sparkling, which is like an energy. So it gives you that soda taste.
Without the adder. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to get some alternative recommendations going. Man, thank you so much again for providing your insight on the necessities of relationship and business, as well as your journey. If you could really quick tell people where they can find you, how they can get locked in, how they can work with you, and any upcoming projects.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Purpose and Profits Co. And on there is a link in my bio where it will lead you to several links. But the first link will lead you to my course. And you heard me talk about that earlier, which is called Build Your Brand in 30 Days. That is,
I don't have a sound effect button, but this is where I would drop a major key alert. Okay.
Yes.
Major key.
So go check that out. You'll find it under Purpose and Profits Co. on Instagram in my bio in the link. And I have a website, and that one is purposeandprofits.co.
Oh, thank you again, guys. This has been, real quick, this is actually a new question in closing because I always say this, but really quick, one word of advice you would give to anyone in assisting them expect better, do better, and believe better.
One word of advice. I would say to turn down that little voice that's inside of you that's telling you you can't do it. And
that motherfucker right there, you can step outside anytime. Listen, that is not the one.
You might need to get in the ring with that little voice in your head occasionally, because that is our enemy right there. It's the thing that can keep you from not doing anything. It's the thing that keep you from not being consistent, is the doubt. So I would say to try to turn down that self-doubt and be confident and believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one else will.
Man, that is so important. If you don't, no one else. So you guys, this has been another week of expecting better, doing better, and believing better. Welcome to season 3. You are a season 3 opener. I didn't even want to tell you that at the start of the show, but you can hear it now. So welcome to season 3, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, every Wednesday, we're going to be kicking it to you right here, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at It's Just Nakia. We also have personal pages dedicated to the show at the Expect Effect Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. But your one-stop shop for all things Expect Effect, as well as our new course options, is going to be the expecteffectpod.com. So get locked in there, and listen, we know that life is hard, but self-care doesn't have to be. We'll see you next week.